Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. Yes, and can you believe it, we are actually back with these Javelins yet again for the third video on these Barbarian Youths. But with a slight difference today, we're actually going to take them out with Vercingetorix. So yeah, someone suggested in the last Javelin video that I should try it with Vercingetorix to sort of see how it played out, and suggested a few things that could be a bit different, and I've been meaning to get round to trying them out. And so I thought it would be a good time to give them a whirl. The other thing I wanted to add was that since I did the other two videos, there's been some slight changes in the last patch to Javelin damage output, and that's also affected these as a premium unit. And basically their weapon damage pre-patch was 80 and we're now 75. So we've lost about 5 damage per Javelin hit. So it's just a point of note. It doesn't change them massively particularly, but just a very slight 5% reduction in damage output. But yeah, Vercingetorix, why? Well, interestingly, the consequence of using Vercingetorix is you lose all the speed buffs from Arminius and Ambiorix, with their haste for Ambiorix and momentum for Arminius. It does work really well and makes them a super fast Javelin unit, which is kind of why they're so effective. And of course, you lose all that with Vercingetorix. However, on the plus side, you do get Scorched Earth. So why is that useful? Well, it has two uses. One, being a Javelin unit means you're almost, well, you should be, if things are going well, not engaged in combat, unless you get caught by cavalry or something like that. You're stood behind your friendly infantry throwing your javelins at the enemy, but you're also stood at pretty close range when you're throwing those javelins. So, when your two sides meet in a fight, it should be quite easy for you to all be able to readily throw your 3 units of Scorched Earth just onto the enemy unit behind. So you can actually rack up a pretty tremendous amount of damage without causing too much friendly fire doing this. Which is one good thing, and that's certainly quite a good way of using it. And the other little sneaky thing you can do is, of course, one effect, or commonly not known effect of Scorched Earth, is that it provides I think it's about a -30 or -40 missile block chance modifier. So if you were to throw a unit of Scorched Earth at, say there's a Roman or a Leonidas with a raised shields, staying a gap on Hadrian's wall or something like that, and just not moving, and you can't break him because obviously he can't do any damage because he's in Testudo and his missile block is over 100. You throw a piece of Scorched Earth on him, suddenly his missile block from 100 is now 70. And your javelins will all of a sudden damage him. And that's quite satisfying because people do not expect that. Not only are they getting burnt from the Scorched Earth, but they're now very vulnerable to the javelins. And then if they turn their backs on you to get out of the flames, you then do an awful lot, 100% damage to them, because obviously then they've got their backs to you. So it kind of works pretty well in that situation, and that's kind of the fun of it. For me, because it's something that people really don't expect. Barbarian Javelins alone are pretty rare, and Barbarian Javelins with a Scorched Earth ability are really rare. And that kind of plays out pretty well, and it makes them sort of unique and people don't expect it, which means you can get some pretty good throws with your Scorched Earth. Obviously, the downsides are the sort of loss of movement speed. So we'll see how this plays out in the battle. So let's hop into battle and see how we get on with these guys. So, we are loading into the Battle of Marathon with our Javelins. Looks like we have got top tier, which is obviously a good thing. Where am I going to go? Somewhere with a bit of infantry for support. So ideally we'll be able to lend a bit of support both with our Javelins and then throw our flames in as well, to sort of assist in some battles and get a bit of points that way. And maybe in an ideal world, we'll even be able to throw some flames against some Testudo Romans and then throw some Javelins at them, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, we'll see how we get on with these guys. Obviously, we're going to be quite a bit slower than we would be with Arminius or Ambiorix, is the one I'm thinking of, because we don't have any speed boosting abilities other than the unit's dash. Vercingetorix himself has no abilities to increase movement speed. So let's put some more of the javelins in the forest and some war dogs over there. Some light artillery and some principes. That's about it for infantry front. Oh, there's a couple more Romans over there as well. These guys are pushing rather hard, which makes me a little bit nervous. Got some enemy cavalry there, gotta be careful of them. There's going to be charges. Try and stay in a bit of cover. Oh, artillery! Ugh. Sucks. Okay, so there's some principes there in the middle. Let's spin this way around. I'm a bit nervous about the amount of enemy cavalry kicking around. And this artillery is a right pain in the arse as well. I don't know if these guys are just going to go straight in for the Romans or not. It looks like they are planning on, doesn't it, to be honest? So, let's just see this. I can't really do anything against them. Oh, we actually did do some damage. It's obviously not high enough tier to that much of a difference. Well, first thing I'm going to do then is straight in with the flames, because that's going to give them a massive damage. And then look, as our friendly javelins come in at the side, they're going to be getting more and more damage against these Romans, because they've obviously got no missile block chance at all. We're going for focus firing at the edge. That's what we wanted. That is definitely what we wanted. Let's just try and get on the edge of our range some javelins into that guy. Look at that damage. That is what we wanted to do. We're causing a little bit of friendly fire now as our spears are pushing into our flames. Actually causing quite a lot. Ah, that's not so good. Ooh. Okay. I wish you could stand out there. I hadn't banked on him doing quite that. Ooh, run away. That was a bit of an error more on our part. And we're being ripped to shreds by light artillery, I think. Who's obviously got us beaded in. I'm surprised we're still in range. Let's try and pull back. It was a bit unfortunate the amount of damage we did to our allies there. It was more than I was hoping for. I didn't really want to be doing that much. Let's obviously get some damage in on those guys. They just pull back again a bit more. We should just be able to out DPS these. What are you doing? Don't run at him. Stupid javelins. Let's clear those guys. Yeah, we just try and finish off that one man. Okay, cool. So we've got some more legionaries down here. Yes, it goes to show how you can throw the flames in on the legionaries. I obviously made a bit of a mistake and caused a bit too much friendly fire. I should have perhaps thrown the flame a little bit further back there. Try and go for a quick focus fire before our allies turn up. See, another example where I can't throw flames in because I'll be causing too much friendly fire there. So I want to be keeping out of that. Artillery has really got it in for me today. So let's try and steer clear of them. Not seeing any of this enemy cavalry that we know is kicking around. And it's just started absolutely chucking it down here. You can probably hear now on the video. Right, let me just try and duck and weave and avoid all this artillery fire. It looks like all the enemy cavalry is still in place. We've got to be careful of that. That's friendly over there. We don't know where it is. I'm just trying to lose visibility because these guys, these enemies, are obviously providing spots for this enemy artillery, and it is devastating. Oh, wow, it is really raining. Okay, some Gunganir charges. They're friendly, they're enemy. I don't inherently mind Gunganir charges, but I need to be staying close enough to infantry to be able to pull back if it comes to it. So we can certainly flame these artillery if we can get close enough. But to get close enough, I need infantry support to be coming out. And yeah, there's quite a lot of problems with this whole thing. So if we're going to get infantry support coming up, I'm going to make a dash. I'm going to try and chuck flames in and around here. And then see how we get on with that. We'll go for a dash, make him a move. Forward, that's friendly still. Let's go like something like there. Let's go for then our javelins in. Let's go for our focus fire. We're burning slightly the artillery crews. We're actually in range of the artillery crews, so we'll probably be better focusing some fire down on them because we should be able to eliminate them pretty easily, I would have thought. These guys are charging me down, so let's keep moving. They're going to rout. Ooh. Keep clear of those guys. Where's this enemy javelins, enemy artillery, enemy cavalry? That's what I'm worrying about, or what I should be worried about. They're getting some defense artillery from the testudo of the Romans, which is obviously quite a wise move on their part. Oh, the Romans are moving back. It should give me clear now just to get some volleys in. Trying to keep an eye out for the enemy cavalry. Oh, don't run into it. We just run into stakes, you fools. I think there's one man left alive. There we go. Got him. Okay, so what have we got here? We have got some Libyan hoplites. I would like to do something against. These enemy artillery is a nightmare for me. If I can get onto the flank, I should be able to get some damage on these hoplites without causing too much friendly fire damage. Like that. Which is kind of what I would like to have done. They're perhaps wisely flanking back round. You know, this is going to be a good opportunity for flame because they're going to come in here and I'm going to be able to chuck flames right on the back of them. Let's go for a big lunk of flame there. You know, we're not going to get loads of damage and we're probably going to clip a little bit of friendly fire there, but hopefully not too bad. And it should now allow me to get some javelin fire in. And they're going to have to pull out. So I'm dictating the course of the battle. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to protect my own infantry through sort of my aggressive actions. And now he's gone to Testudo, but we are still getting damage on him. Let's pull back before he does a heavy infantry charge on me. Try and get a bit of range on him. and keep damage on him. Yes. Wow, that is loud. That is going to be horrific on the video. Sorry about the noise. That is not quite what I had in mind. He's actually not interested here, which is probably a bit silly of him because it means I can just get him down. I'm not seeing any of this enemy cavalry. I'm really surprised. I really expected this. Hopefully the internet's going to stay on. It wouldn't be interesting if my videos weren't terrible and had problems like this. But anyway, yes, I'm trying to keep pressure on this guy. Oops. He's throwing some javelins of his own at me. We can keep some pressure on the back of this guy here. One more. A bit late that is, because he could heavy infantry charge me if he wanted to. But he doesn't for some reason. He's perhaps too focused on playing with his other units. Let's get around here. Get a quick volley. Move on, move on, move on, move on. Don't stop! Nearly just attack stakes, which is definitely not what I want to be doing. So there's a couple of guys left here, but most of them are dead. So we've got some normal legionaries. I'm just trying to pull range now. Let's spread myself back out again, play this a bit more wiser. This is going to be a hard game to come back from, it's got to be said. I'm not sure how we're going to do this. I'm just going to flame that whole middle area. We are going to cause friendly fire damage, but hopefully we'll do more damage to the enemy. Look at that, 11,000. So it's giving us a good amount of points. Right, I've got a clear range. Oh, artillery. Damn you, artillery. Oh, double hit. And now they've been caught up by the Romans as well. Come on, guys. Alright, maybe we should be trying to go for this artillery, but the problem is it's such a defensive area. And we're now so depleted in the number of our units, I think we're going to be having a bit of a hard time doing it. Let's try and get into this long grass. And we're also going to be outspotted, and they've got armoured legionary support as well. Don't think we're going to be able to pull this one back. Oops, I'm watching out for mistakes as well. I'm on caltrops at the moment. Oh dear, you see, the problem is they can obviously quite well outrange me. A bit of cavalry's got in amongst them, but these Romans are trying to chase me. Let's just try and keep rings around these Romans. If I can get close enough, I can get a volley off. I just can't see a bloody thing, which makes it very hard. And then you get caught by the Romans. Dash, 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 dash. Oh, they've silenced me, or they tried to. They actually failed, I think. Yeah, the lack of visibility is making this really a hard thing to do. Let's try and get some, just trying to get damage in as much as regularly as I can. But the problem is these guys can keep damage up on me, and it's very hard for me to be able to do anything. I'm using their peelers against me as well. I have got my flames back, mind, so we could have a go at just doing that. I'm not sure that's really going to help me. Oh dear, what was that? That was painful, whatever it was. Right, let's clear out of here. All our units are now wavering, so we have pretty bad visibility. We get a bit of damage on these Romans, but not a lot. And you see, we don't have the speed that we do with Arminius to be able to pull back quite the same way. I'm trying to keep these guys down, but obviously my numbers are so depleted now. You know, I'm continually on the back foot, and I think I'm going to be pretty hard pressed to actually do anything to really diminish the quantity of these troops that are facing off against me. You know, we're doing like 1,000 at most per volley. We'll keep up the pursuit, but I don't think it's going to do me many favours. I'm going to lose range on him. It's just sort of nibbling at a very large block of cheese. We're not really making much progress. It's getting us a little bit of extra damage, I suppose. Unfortunately, I think this battle is just too far against us now. So it kind of shows that, hopefully this has kind of shown that Scorched Earth is a useful weapon for Javelins, don't get me wrong. Obviously, Iron Discipline can occasionally be useful. If you get caught by cavalry, it stops you from routing if you don't want to. You know, has the odd moment. Oh dear, but by and large, it's not especially useful, I don't feel. I might be able to get that artillery man if I can just get around here, maybe? 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 A quick dash. Oh, bollocks! Oh, there's an infantry division. Run! Oh. Can we risk it? Oh, yes! Got him! Run, 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 run! Why? Oh, he's not got a heavy infantry charge. Okay, we've got the artillery crew, man. That's about all I managed to achieve with that. Obviously, we're going to run out of time. We are just sort of being a pain to them now. In many ways, it's almost no point because I'm not even really doing much damage. I'm just being a pain for the sake of it. We can get some javelins into the back of these armoured legionaries. Look, I'll even throw some flames at them. But, I think they mostly landed in the water anyway, so they might have gone out. You know, it's just a diminishing return on this, isn't it? I think we'll probably call that quits. And oh well, there we go. They have found me. I won't even activate whatever the Iron Discipline is. I shall accept my fate. I think I've fought on well enough. No point dragging this on for another 3 minutes, running and nibbling at the guys. That was a good game. I quite enjoyed that actually. But I still feel that while Scorched Earth is a nice addition to Vercingetorix, I don't think it is perhaps as good as Ambiorix and or Arminius. I feel like you do lose the speed that made the Javelins pretty exceptional because they were, you know, with Arminius they're exceptionally fast, and also true with Ambiorix because obviously you get haste, which is 50% of the time, you know, 25% movement speed bonus, whatever it is. So, you know, that works pretty well in conjunction with these Javelins, and I feel that you are losing that with Vercingetorix. The Scorched Earth is nice, but I don't think it does enough to be worthwhile. And, you know, you've got to consider as well with Ambiorix, you get things like the crippling shot and the reload rate buff. I think you can apply more damage doing that in a traditional Javelin roll than you can with this. You know, I guess the one benefit of this is that who the hell expects a Barbarian Javelin player to be playing with Vercingetorix? It's such a weird combination that people don't expect the flames to be coming in, and it does allow you to dictate the course of the battle a certain amount. You know, as you saw, perhaps as we used it on the back of those armoured legionaries, they then felt in turn obliged to pull back out of that fight because they didn't want to be standing in the flames the whole time. And so you're protecting an ally not through actually physically deflecting him, but you know, you're making sort of impasse blocks where people don't want to travel through. But that's kind of Scorched Earth tactics for normal units as well. But just when you're playing these as like a purely support unit, it just kind of make it a bit easier perhaps to deploy Scorched Earth freely because you're often, you know, you're supposed to be out of combat the whole time. You're not supposed to be hand to hand, so you can deploy it pretty easily. So yeah, it's a cool addition, and if you enjoy playing Vercingetorix, then I certainly think it's a combination that works. I just think that Ambiorix is probably taking the lead as the slightly better choice with these Javelins. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video, something a little bit different in a way, but also the third video on these guys, but who thought Vercingetorix could be used for Javelins. Let me know what you think about him in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for lots more Total War Arena content, and thanks guys, I shall see you all on the next video.